Welcome to the channel. This is Texas Silver. We just had a long, grueling trip to and from Alabama. Got a lot of work done. Got one of my best friends here, Jeremiah Babe. If you've been following the channel, if you follow his channel, you know what I'm talking about. But he just moved. Well, didn't move. We went out to Alabama to get the property ready for.
Wait, I didn't move?
Well, you know what I mean. The move of.
I'm never gonna hear the end of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We had to go down, prepare the house. In a month or so, I'm gonna go back with Jeremiah. We're gonna move all the important stuff. Also have Enrique with me. If you don't follow his channel, check it out. See if you like what he's putting out there. He's putting out a lot of good videos, getting a lot of views. Enrique Reacts, and obviously Jeremiah Babe. If you don't follow his channel, please do so. So just wanted to go over briefly about the trip. This is kind of closing it all up. Tomorrow, Jeremiah and Enrique head back to California. So just kind of wanted to recap the trip, just real short, and then we'll get into the talk about silver and gold and all that good stuff. So Jeremiah, what are your thoughts on the trip? And
trip went better than expected. Unfortunately, we weren't able to follow all of the economic news that transpired over the week. We were busy, but today we were able to slow it down a little bit. I threw up a good video. Enrique threw up a good video. Obviously, we're shooting this one, and so we'll get a little bit more back to our home base with that. But look, the trip went great, but more importantly, what's happening in the U.S. economy and what's going to be happening in precious metals. It's going to be second half of this year is going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to see some real events, I think, unfold, and many of them are not going to be good for this country, so you need to be preparing.
Yeah. Enrique, thoughts on the trip and all that?
You know, Alabama, I really do think is a hidden gem, and I really hope it doesn't get spoiled. As of right now, the area that we visited, I thought was awesome. Everybody treated us with a lot of respect. The establishments we went to, whether it be cutting my hair or eating at a restaurant or buying supplies or looking for vendors, the Southern hospitality is definitely there. You get this fresh vibe that you just don't see in California, where I live at. So it definitely opens my eyes, and I have visited other states. We've gone through Louisiana, we've gone through other states. I've gone through Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I've gone to all those states before, and I really do think that, like I said before, I think JB did an awesome decision to be able to move, and he had the patience. He found the right property for him, and I congratulate you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I really do think it's going to be a good journey, and going forward, I really do think it's going to have a lot of good content.
Appreciate that. How's the food?
Food was awesome.
Food was awesome.
Food was awesome.
So I wanted to say, both of these gentlemen to my left and right are both stand-up
Thanks.
gentlemen. Enrique, I'm getting to know him, great dude, but I've always respect and admired Jeremiah. He is very stubborn, but very disciplined, and when he sets his mind to something, he does it, and he doesn't give up, he doesn't quit, which a lot of people these days do that. But for me, the trip, it was a good time. I got to do the work on the skid steer, have a good time, and I really enjoyed being able to kind of pull away from the normal videos that I put out. Just some of them are funny. I like to clown around, have a good time. Obviously, there's serious stuff that we're gonna talk about.
And I got to interject. I know people get mad because I interject, but I hope you continue to make videos on a more regular basis. People really love your channel. I hope you keep with it. Enrique, phenomenal job. You're breaking 5,000 subs. But look, it's not about the numbers. It's not about the views. It's not about the subs. That's just, it's about the message that everybody's delivering. And when you watch channels, it's, a lot of people do this because it's about the money. It's about selling stuff. It's about selling product. It's about selling, services, classes, courses. Everybody's doing all this crazy stuff. These guys are really walking the walk and believe what they're talking about, and I'm trying to do the same thing. That's why I moved. So these are two stand-up guys. They don't quit, a lot of discipline, and they really care about the American people. They care about the people watching these videos. They care about where this is all going. So I just want to commend everybody.
Yeah. All right, good deal. So before we get into this really quick, please check out both of these channels. Go back and watch my videos if you missed them, but there's a lot of videos, a lot of good content that was put out over the last week. So if you missed them, go back, see what you've missed, and we appreciate all the support and commenting, sharing the videos, all that stuff. All right, so let's get into it, because I'm sure that's why y'all are here, is for the gold and silver talk and what's going on, not so much us run our mouths about that. So Friday, the market's closed. I believe silver was up 80 cents. Gold was what, $40?
$40,
yeah. So what I'm noticing is, in the past, these metals, they would get slammed down, and they would just keep slamming them down, and it took months, if not years sometimes, to come back to, you know, their highs. And it looks like gold and silver keep, you know, kind of taking little hickeys, but I mean, within a day or two, a week, they're back to, you know, where they were at. So I think the days of it being manipulated, the metal prices just, you know, knocking 30-40% off of these metals, and them having to recover over the next year or two, I think those days are over.
Yeah, it was discouraging for a lot of people over the years to watch silver basically move up 2 cents a day, maybe a nickel, go down a nickel. Gold kind of sat at, you know, $1,700-$1,800, it seems forever. And now over the last year or two, we begin to see movement, and especially the last 12 months, we saw a lot of movement. And I think really this is just the beginning, because there's so much happening behind the scenes globally. We know that America is trying to get back as much gold as it can right now. We know China is stock. We don't even know how much gold China has at this point. The BRICS nations, the central banks are stockpiling this stuff. It's not going to go away. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are over $37 trillion in debt. And if that does not wake you up, if that does not scare you or concern you to buy this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. This should be really freaking everybody out, is the amount of debt that this country is entrenched in. It can never be paid back. It's getting bigger. And it's a reason why I'm buying gold, why I have a large amount of silver. Not financial advice, but I'm just sharing with you, as I've done over the years, for 8 years, 9 years, whatever it is, of my journey of buying this stuff. And so far, it looks like it's worked out pretty well. The people who said it was stupid, it was dumb, it's going to $8 and $800 an ounce, they were completely proven wrong. Because why? All you have to do, you don't have to be a rocket scientist here, just bet against the debt. The debt's going to get bigger, the dollar's going to get destroyed, and there's only two things that are going to go up: gold and silver. Maybe some other things, but the two most undervalued assets on earth are going to continue to steamroll right through.
Yeah, so you have Jerome Powell, who just had the Fed meeting, a couple days ago, and he's indicating rate cuts, I guess up to 3. So you're looking at least 75 basis points, if not more, Enrique, on those cuts. What do you think that means for silver, the dollar? You know, where is this going?
You know, when it comes to silver, I really do feel that it's going to benefit from these rate cuts. And unfortunately, I think that the dollar's in trouble. And going forward, I think that the purchasing power, it's going to decelerate, which means that everything's going to get more expensive in the short term. So I would be very careful because, again, right now, the amount of money that you're making, if you don't get a substantial raise, little by little, it's going to be eroding. Your purchasing power is going to be eroding. And that's why it's important for all of you to be able to stack away as much gold and silver as possible, because before you know it, it's going to be too late, and you're going to wish that you started this sooner.
And what's sad is, years ago, people didn't want to listen to this, and they could have been buying gold for $1,500 an ounce, silver at $18 an ounce, whatever. It was much lower than it is now, and now it's like, oh, it's too expensive, I can't buy it. This is why years ago we were warning people, you need to be stockpiling this stuff, it's on sale. And I hate to say this, but I think it's still on sale. Even at $3,400 an ounce and $38 an ounce, I think it's still on sale. And it isn't that it's getting more expensive, it's just that the dollar is continuing to be pummeled. And the more it gets pummeled and the more it's challenged by the BRICS, you're going to see the metals continue to rise. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you're on the fence right now and you have a couple bucks, it might be a good idea to purchase some of this stuff right now, because I don't think it's going to get much cheaper. It doesn't go straight up every day. It pulls back. Those pullbacks are probably a great opportunity to acquire some of this.
Yeah. So if you look at, I hate to bring this up, but Bitcoin, if you look what has happened over to Bitcoin over the last decade or so, you know, when it got up to $2,000, you know, people are like, oh, that's too expensive. It got up to $10,000, you know, it's too expensive. Now it's, what is it, over $100,000. I think the same thing's going to happen with gold and silver. So there's going to be a point that you're going to wish you were paying $3,500 for an ounce of gold and $40 for an ounce of silver. So yeah, get these if you can. So if you are seeing this video for the first time, you don't know anything about gold or silver, Jeremiah, what would you tell someone? What would be your advice if they're just hearing this for the first time and they don't know where to start? You know, where should they start?
Well, go to a reputable dealer or bullion dealer. I deal with SD Bullion. You can go to my channel, go to my link, or you can call them up, use my name, SD Bullion. And I would just start out, look, buy an ounce, buy 1 ounce, or buy a few ounces of silver. Or if you have more and you want to buy something that's maybe not as volatile, buy an ounce of gold, buy 1 ounce, and just go through the process. And you could talk to the people over there, or a good bullion dealer. Maybe you have a good coin shop in your area. But me personally, in the last over 7 years, I've been dealing with SD Bullion. But there are reputable people out there to deal with. Just make sure you're dealing with one of them. Buy a couple ounces, buy an ounce of gold, just try, see the process. You'll find it's very, very easy. And I think when you hold it, when you hold that ounce of silver, you hold that ounce of gold, you're going to get what we're talking about, because it is God's money. And when you hold it in your hands and it's physical, you feel what it's all about. And this isn't about worshiping money. This is about wealth protection. This is about protecting you, your wealth, your family. And you buy this stuff not to make money. You buy this stuff to protect your wealth, that if and when things get bad, you're able to protect and able to purchase food or purchase property, because this is one of the most liquid assets on planet Earth. It can be converted into literally any fiat currency across the globe. So in case of emergency, this is the best insurance you're going to have next to God and security. This is financial security. So I can't recommend it enough. And I think you're going to sleep a lot better at night knowing that you know where your money's at. Your money's not safe in banks. Your money is safe with you, much safer. People will say, well, somebody could break into your house. Well, somebody can hit a button on a computer and wipe you out. Inflation is wiping you out right now. It is the biggest thief there is. So get some security, put this stuff in a safe place, and you're going to sleep a lot better at night. And look, just be more self-sufficient and get out of the system.
Yeah. So Enrique, I'm going to ask you the same thing. If you had a friend, a relative, or whatever, what is your best advice? Where they need to start? Where should they go? What should they get? Your thoughts on that?
Well, I really do think that a lot of people should start with something very simple, such as a regular rounds, 1 ounce rounds or silver eagles. Also, as Bill Holter has mentioned in the past, it's very important to be able to hold smaller denominations of junk silver, because I really do think that if you ever needed to barter, that would be a real good thing to have. So I think that that's probably 2 of the avenues that you should work with. And if you can't afford gold, you can start small as well. You don't have to go for a full ounce. You could go for 1/10 of an ounce or 1/4 of an ounce, but just have some of it, because as it appreciates, your piece of gold will appreciate too. Like I said, you don't have to go big, and you can dollar cost average in, which means that you don't have to put in. If you do have a lot of money to put in, great, but if you don't, you can start small, start cutting away at unnecessary expenses, and start diverting some of that fiat into these types of assets, and just hold it, set it and forget it. And over the years, you will see that your net worth will grow.
I think we're coming to a time where people might be cutting out the football games and buying more silver, cutting out the vacations and buying a little bit more gold, sacrificing some things, maybe living a little bit below your means, so you can acquire some of these assets that I think are going to be very, very valuable in the very near future. And I think we're going to see a run here that's not going to be for a few months. I think this run is going to go on for years now. And you're going to see shortages again in the gold and silver market. And I think premiums will go up. And if this stuff starts really running out of control, and we're going to see a bubble in the precious metals market at some point, the bullion dealers just aren't even going to sell it to you. Yeah. They're going to keep it, and then you don't even get this stuff. Then what's it worth?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was going to say, and I say it on the channel all the time. I would start with constitutional junk silver. Yeah. Anything well, it's 1964 and older, dimes, quarters, half dollars, silver dollars. But I would, if you can do dimes, all dimes, I would do that, because then an ounce of silver is in 14 dimes. So you have 14 transactions versus if you buy 1 silver ounce round or coin. So I would get a fair amount of that. Just
be as diversified as you can with this stuff.
For bartering. And then after that, if you want to get 1 ounce stuff, and then, you know, get into some gold. But yeah, I would definitely start with constitutional silver. Just so if the lights go out, you have something to be able to trade with and barter with. I think we're going to leave it there before this video gets too long. Again, check out these gentlemen's channels. They're really putting out some good content, and I want to, you know, commend JB for finally making this move and getting out of Alabama. I've been riding him about this for probably 3 or 4 years.
All in God's hands, all in God's hands.
Yeah. So please like, subscribe, share these videos, and comment below. We're going to leave it there. God bless. Take care. See you.
Thank you.